Okay, so everyone's a little bleary-eyed this morning, a bit tired. So we're going to start the day with, rather than more active yoga, we're going to start with some restorative yoga. So get yourself into the right kind of mode for restorative yoga. So you need to be warm. It's also good you need to be comfortable as well. So put an extra blanket over the top of your mat if you can, just really because we're replicating bed. Now, if you drop off while you're doing this, it's not the end of the world. It's probably quite nice, but you shouldn't necessarily fall asleep. You should probably find this deeply energizing. So get a bolster for your knees and have some blocks for your feet. And if you feel like you might get a bit chilly, I think my feet might be a bit cold in this. So you can put socks on. I have to go downstairs to put socks on, so I'm just going to cover my feet. But you can cover yourself with a blanket if you want to. So we've just got blocks underneath the feet, a bolster underneath the knees. I'm going to cover my feet and then just come down. And you've got a blanket for underneath your head. And then just spend a moment just to observe how it feels to just release into the floor. So often we do this after the working day and when the body is tired, and it suddenly feels really good to release into the floor. First thing in the morning, we've already got ourselves out of bed. However, if the body is still tired, then restfulness of the body comes relatively easily. Just listen to the sound of the breath as it exits, as it enters. Remember, with restorative yoga, it's quite permissible to move if you're uncomfortable. The priorities with restorative yoga are comfort, warmth, and darkness. So if your room is really bright, then cover your eyes with an eye pillow or a pair of socks or a flannel. So just spend a little time just allowing the physical body to release into the floor. Soften the jaw, soften your tongue, soften the throat. Consciously unhook the muscles of the arms and of the legs, so that your physical body becomes heavy, but the energetic body feels light. So sometimes when we wake up and we still feel physically tired, it's nice to just let the physical body go, to release the physical body. And then you can identify that there is energy there. And the energy feels light, pure, and gentle. So maybe there is energy around a particular part of the body, maybe in the arms, in the torso, in the head, in the legs. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute the feeling of lightness evenly throughout the entire body, down into the tips of the toes, into the tips of the fingers, into the top of the head. So we're basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. Just draw your attention down into the soles of the feet. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet and feel that the soles of the feet, the skin becomes tingly and conscious. And then consciously relax the soles of the feet from the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone. Just consciously releasing and relaxing the sole of the foot. Draw your attention into the top of the foot. And consciously relax the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone of the top of the foot. Draw your attention into your shins. And allow the shins to relax, softening the skin and the flesh below the skin, and the muscle and the bone, allowing the shin bone to rest in the bed of the calf muscle. Draw your attention into your kneecaps. And then soften the kneecaps. Allow the cartilage and the muscle and the flesh and the bone to soften and relax. Draw your attention into the thighs. And then relax the thigh into the fronts of the thighs, into the backs of the thigh. Soften across the pelvis. Allowing the hips to relax. Hip socket to relax. Draw your attention into your torso. And consciously soften the skin and the muscle and the bones of the torso. Draw your attention into your arms. And allow the arms to completely release into the floor from the upper arm, the forearm, the wrists and the backs of the hands. Relaxing the palms of the hands, allowing the tops of the arms to sink into the bottom of the arm, softening the shoulder socket. Softening the neck. Just progressively releasing the muscles around the neck. When you soften around the neck, observe how your energy flows and almost lifts physical body off the floor. Soften the skin around the skull. Smooth out the forehead as though someone is smoothing clay from the center of the forehead out towards the temples, smoothing downwards towards the eyebrows. Soften the muscles of the face. Release in the inner ear. Notice that when you release and relinquish control over the face, that the body feels lighter. And our tired physical body starts to fill with abundant energy. That energy fills the bones, and the muscles, and the flesh, and the skin. So rather than falling asleep, the physical body feels as though it's brimming with positive energy. When you're ready, to wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. And then bend your knees. Just bring your knees onto the bolster, onto the cushions that your feet, that you're behind your knees. And just stay with the knees bent, stay on your back. Just allow that feeling of energetic lightness to resettle and reposition. Till that feeling of energetic lightness has returned. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And stretch out your top leg, and then just come up into cross leg position. Just sitting in cross legs, driving the chest upwards. Just observe difference in your energy, in the lightness of the physical body. And then just bring yourself out of your crossed legs for a moment, or just stay there for a moment. I'll show you what we're going to do. So we're going to do a supported side stretch. So get your blanket. If you've got an oblong bolster, that's good, so you can use that instead. Fold it over so that it's really thick. So you've got a really thick blanket like this. And that is going to go in the armpit chest. So if you've got one of these oblong bolsters, then that will do the job probably better. Have a block for your head, and that's all you need. So you're going to come over onto your side. So just face me to start off with. Lengthen out those side ribs, and then bring that folded blanket into the armpit chest. Bring the shoulder down. Bring the arm into a right angle, and then you can either stay with the arm over your head. The head is rested by the block. You either keep your hand at the side of the body or rest it so that the arm is over your ear, and then you stay. So a simple supported side stretch. So the more lift you can get underneath your armpit chest, the better. So you might want to fold your blanket doubly. Just have something to keep you warm. So I'm just going to have a blanket over my legs because they're a bit chilly. So this pose is really good for relieving stiff necks, stiff shoulders. If you can't comfortably bring your arm over your head, then put a block underneath the lifted hand. Otherwise, just release into the floor. So as we progress, restorative yoga needs to be quiet. So as we progress into the sequence, I'll speak less and less. Just so that you can observe and observe the feeling of the relaxation.
So just breathe evenly into both lungs. Remember that there's nothing to be gained from just putting up with discomfort. If you find that you're not comfortable, then adjust. Just let go of the upper arm. Let go in the shoulder socket. Let the upper arm rest over the ear. Okay, release the top arm. Push your elbow into the floor and then sit yourself up. And then just come over onto the other side. So again, you're just bending your knees, lifting this side of the body as you reach over. Have the lift in the armpit chest, the block for your head, and then reaching the upper arm over the ear. And then relax, release and relax into the pose. So as you stay in the pose, just observe how the physical body, rather than feeling heavy and exhausted, is just beginning to fill with lightness. Remember that you should keep yourself warm. Otherwise, it's difficult to release and relax. If you hold, then your energy will not flow as freely. Okay, release the top arm back onto the body. Push your elbow into the floor and then come back up into cross leg position, just lifting and opening the chest. And then just bring your block to the kind of long ways. So put some cushions underneath you. We can do a grounding spinal twist. So it's really similar to the last pose. So your legs are bent, your hip is close to the end of your bolster or your cushions, and then you're going to lift the chest and turn, and then drive the chest along the front of the bolster, and then rest your head in the same direction as your knees. So that's the pose. So just make sure that you've got something to keep you warm. You lift and open the chest and then drive the physical body down to face the floor, and then release. So it's a stretch on the lower back. If it's too much for your back, then give yourself a little more height. If you can, put a blanket on top of your bolster. If it's too strong for your back still, then just stretch out your legs a little further. So they're still bent, but not as bent. So the more you bend your knees, the more you work into the lower back. Have your elbows wide enough apart so that you're not supporting your weight with your arms, just using the bolster. Breathing evenly, just feeling how your body is, rather than feeling the exhaustion of over or under sleep, it feels alive and brimming with energy. Breathe into your upper back, inflating the upper back from the center of the spine into the shoulders, and then release completely with the out breath. Then breathe into the center of the back, from the middle of the back, from the spine out to the armpit chest, the side ribs, and then release completely. And then breathe into the lower back and the hips. And then release completely with the out breath. And then cycle around the upper, the middle, and the lower back with the breath. Breathing into the back, letting the back inflate. And then push your hands into the floor underneath your chest, and then bring yourself up into cross leg position, just sitting cross legs. Just observe the energy of your body, and then just gently bring yourself back over onto the other side, so the other hip is close to the bolster, the knees are bent. Lift and open the chest and drive the front of the chest along the bolster, resting your head in the same direction as you're bending your knees, resting your elbows out to the side. Going back into that back breathing technique, breathing into the upper back, then the middle back, then the lower back, just working through each stage, and then beginning at the beginning at the top of the back again. Observe how pleasant it feels to breathe into the back chest. And then just push your hands into the floor and then bring yourself up into a seated position. And then just for a moment, we're not going to stay very long. We're coming to a supported child's pose. So just using the bolster between your legs, between your knees, and then rest forwards, and then rest your head on one side. And after a moment or two, we're not going to stay for very long. You just alternate the position of your head just to even out the spine and to give the neck some stretch. Remember to alternate the position of your head, just resting on one side then the other. Just observe the energy in the body, that lightness where there was heaviness. Okay, and then just push your hands into the floor, just bring yourself up into a seated position, and then just bring yourself into cross legs, just sitting upright, sitting on your bolster, have your hands on your knees, and then just spend a little time focusing on your breath. With each inhalation, draw your attention to something in your life that you feel grateful for. Hold on to that feeling as you release with the exhalation, and then with the next inhalation, think of something new that you are grateful for. And continue in that thread, thinking of new things to be grateful for. Just allowing your heart area to fill with the abundance of gratitude. And when you stop thinking of new things and just rest in that positive abundance around the heart area of all the good things in your life. Gently bring your hands into Namaste. Draw your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Conscious of the transformation of your energy and the lightness of the physical body. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside, from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have just lifted and released your energy. Your body feels a little lighter and more energetic, and you've got plenty of energy to put into your day. So thank you very much.